Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Frugalisama. My name's Sam and this is where I talk about all things sewing. So today I've got my Sew Frugal 22 makes to show you. It's been a little bit manic. Ruan and I have been absolutely blown away by the response to this challenge. So thank you so much if you took part in it or if you just cheered us on from the sidelines and just garnered lots of free patterns to sew in the future. It doesn't matter. It's great to have a challenge with an end date on it so that you've got something to aim for. I know I certainly like to have an end date, otherwise I just faff about for ages. But a lot of people have messaged us and just said, you know, it's been wonderful to watch everybody get involved, and in the end we had about 1,400 contestants. We did sort of share something that said 1,700, but amongst that were the posts that we'd made and some repetitions and a couple of cheats. People who tagged us that had made garments in August, November last year. So obviously they were struck off, disqualified. So yeah, we had about 1,400 contestants to trawl through, put onto a spreadsheet, and we just managed to contact everybody yesterday and put the results of that. So last year, I actually put together a video of all the winners that we had. I'm not going to do that this year because we had over 40, well, we had 46 winners. On top of that, Love Notions actually gave 10 of the vloggers prizes as well. So that was 56 people to get in touch with. And it's been quite a task. On top of that, I was filming every day. My husband had COVID, so that meant I had everything to do, walking the dog twice a day, all the cooking. Not a lot of cleaning went on, I have to admit. And then poor old Ruan went down with COVID on the reveal day. As it happens, she hasn't been as ill with it as she has been in the past, but still it knocks you out. And then a little boy's been ill with it as well. I have got a playlist with everybody's reveal videos that I've put together, so if you want to have a look at what everybody's made in the YouTubing community, have a look at that. I'll link that below. So let's just have a recap of what I was planning to make. I will link my video, the full plans, but essentially I was looking at size inclusive patterns. So for me, size inclusivity means the top end and the bottom end of the size range and height as well. So I looked at quite a lot of tent dresses, like the Bowen dress from Peppermint magazine and the Daisy DIY dress. And then I also looked at some draft yourself patterns, so putting in your own measurements and drafting yourself. So I was looking at freesewing.org website, a couple of where you just took your own measurements, such as the Stitch Sisters dungaree patterns, and By a Hand London had a few as well. And I looked at the Sinclair patterns, Harper, Cardigan, and the skater dress that they have, because they do draft for different heights. And I also looked at the Kama Sutra Samantha dress. So out of all of those, I only actually sewed 2 that were in my plans video, and then I changed my plans a little bit, which is, you know, quite allowable. These things happen. The fact that I actually got any sewing done at all with all that going on was a bit of a miracle. So I'll talk about the first one. I actually talked about this one a little bit in one of my previous videos, and this is the sort of compromise from the tent dresses that I found. My friend on Instagram, Marijke, actually gave me the heads up of this one, and this is the frilly dress from Marijke, and it's available through the Libelle website. I think Libelle is a Dutch magazine and they have online presence as well, and she designed that for them. And it was just a little bit of a compromise for the tent dresses because I find those too voluminous for me, and I thought this was a little bit more fitted in the bodice, although it is still quite loose. So you've got the gentle pleats, gentle gathering here at the shoulder line, so it's no bust darts, and then you've just got essentially what are rectangles gathered into this bodice. So lovely pattern this, really would recommend it. It is a little bit restricted in the size range, which is why I didn't actually talk about it on the video, but it's more my style. This has got 5 sizes. It goes from size small to extra large, from an 88cm to 117cm bust, which is 34 inches up to 46 inches. And there are no other sizes in this apart from the length that you do. And that's simply because, like I said before, it just gathers into rectangles, so you can make that as big or as small as you want, really. It finishes just above your waist, and you've got 3 lengths. So you've got the short version that I made here, then you've got the midi, and then you can go full maxi with this as well. Then you've got 3 different sleeve lengths. So I've got this one gathered into an elastic here, so elbow length if you like. And then you've got the full bell sleeve, so you're just leaving the elastic out, and then you can go full sleeves right down to the wrist, again with the elastic. And then you've just got 2 options here whereby you can put a little bit of a carding on there, or a tassel or something like that. So obviously I kept the card out, not because I don't like it, it's just because I couldn't actually find one to match the fabric. So the fabric that I use is a broderie anglaise. I don't know if it's coming up very well on the camera. And the actual pattern is drafted to have a facing all the way around this neckline, which I omitted because I actually do prefer having bias binding around a neckline, although I will admit it was a little bit tricky on this. And also the facing's actually top stitched all the way around, quite wide. I think I would say it's about 1 inch in, and I thought it would just be lost in this broderie anglaise. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is I thought it would be a little bit tricky having a facing with the broderie anglaise as well. Broderie anglaise, if you're not familiar with it, it has all this, let me just see if I can bring some in a bit closer for you. It's got like embroidery on top of the cotton. The embroidery is usually polyester, and it just makes it quite uneven. One of the options is to line the bodice as well, which I didn't do. I didn't think it needed it in the top half of the bodice. This bit, I wanted to keep that as a feature. And this bit here was actually on the selvage, so I wanted that to at the bottom of the dress, which meant that I didn't have to hem it because it's just nicely finished off there. So, actually a relatively quick sew if you're not having to mess about doing going around really awkward corners with a bias binding. And yeah, quick easy sew. There is a video accompanying this, but because it's Dutch, it's in Dutch. So if you're a fluent Dutch speaker, that'll be okay. When you download this pattern, if you open it in Google, there is the option to translate it, and all the instructions are actually on the website. So the only Dutch is actually written on the pattern, and you can work that out. It's not difficult. So yeah, really love this. It's going to be great for summer. I just used up what fabric I had. So like I said, it gives you measurements for rectangles. There's no pattern pieces for this. So I just used what fabric I had, and rather than cut 2 pieces and join it, I just joined it at the back. I won't show you, but I've just got a seam down the back rather than the sides. If you had seams at the sides, you'd be able to put pockets in it. But I just thought it was the best use of fabric. So I've got about a 10-inch square of fabric left, because that's what I was using. And with the sleeves, I actually took a little bit of volume out, again, down to fabric restraints. I think I had 2 meters of this, but it was a lot narrower. It was only about 130 centimeters wide, or maybe less, maybe 120 centimeters wide. That is the Frilly dress by Marijke, and yeah, love it. And I'll be wearing that a lot in the summer. So I'm going to just swap Mandy over to show you my next 2 makes, and I'll be back in a second. So you might recognise my next make because it's been a popular one during the challenge, and that is the Etty camisole by Tammy Handmade. I've seen some really, really pretty ones. Mine's only a plain white linen because, again, I was using what I had, and I just wanted to test it out. I did decide to measure myself before I embarked on making this one, and it looked like I'd put a bit of weight on. Well, I have put a bit of weight on, but my chest never changes usually. So I measured my chest, and it came out as, I think it came out as either a 38 or a 39, and I'm generally a 37. So I cut a size 14, which was in keeping with that particular size, and of course it was massive. So I had to take it down, and I took it down to a size 12. So the size range for this does go from 6 to 24, and that's a 31-inch bust up to a 44-inch bust, maximum hip of 52. So I ended up doing the size 12, which was more in keeping to what I'm used to making. So I should have not bothered measuring myself and went with what I would have normally done, but that's c'est la vie. So yeah, really very simple make is this. The only thing that's a little bit more complicated is going around these curves, and if you just take it really, really slowly, then you won't have a problem. So you can see on Mandy here that there is a facing, and it is a long facing on this one. I know some camisoles sort of come a bit high up and they stop in a bit of a strange place. But yeah, really, really simple. You've just got the curves to look out for, and then you've just got straight lines. So a couple of things that I did, I actually shortened the length. It comes mid-hip now. I think it just came at a bit of an unflattering length for me. So instead of turning it over by an inch, I think I turned it over by 2 inches. No other alterations apart from bringing it in. So if I just switch Mandy around here, you'll see that it's just a straight back on it. Come on, Mandy, stop being awkward. Just a straight back on it. There is a video tutorial on this one in English this time, so you shouldn't have any problems. I think this strap is a little bit on the narrow side, but it would be a really, really easy hack to do, is to just bring it down to the width that you want, maybe there. You don't really need to see my bra, but I have quite wide bra straps. As I've got older now, I just need that extra support. So I think it would be really easy to bring that down a little bit further and widen that strap there. A couple of things that I thought of doing, and one that somebody suggested in my comments when I was talking about it before, is to lengthen this facing completely and make it double-sided. I thought that would be a really nice idea. And to do that, you would just need to alter how she has you finish it on the inside. So she actually has you finish it on the inside by joining these facings into the side seams like this. That's how it is in the instructions, is to finish it on the inside. Just by leaving these loose and making them 2 pieces, and then when you can just open it out and sew it in 1 piece. And I think that's how the Ogden Cam is done actually. You'll be able to make that reversible quite easily. The other sort of little hack that I thought that somebody came up with was to put elastic in here and make it into a shelf bra. Not something that I actually need, but if you're sort of bigger busted and needed to go, wanted to keep this strap quite thin and delicate, but needed that extra support is the word I'm looking for, then I think putting that elastic in is a bit of a genius idea actually. And the other little hack that I thought of, and quite a simple one really, is to keep it extending it to the length that you want and make it into a dress. If you look at the Peppermint magazine white strapped maxi dress, I wouldn't probably go as long as that, but I would probably pinch some of the details off that and make a split and put those pocket details on, especially if I was using a linen. I probably wouldn't do it on a viscose, but if I was using a linen, that is something that I would do. So if you want me to show you how to do any of those hacks, let me know and I will put a video together putting those 3 hacks together. Probably not the shelf bra one, but making it reversible, widening the straps and making it longer to have a split and pockets. That is something that I'm more than happy to do. So my next one is a little bit of a disaster, and you can see Mandy just about modelling them here. I'm not going to model them because they're indecent, but I'm just going to lower the camera down a little bit so you can see. Woo. So as you can see, these are the Waralee, I think the wrapped pants they're called, and they're from the Free Sewing Org, and they're just sitting right off the hip, probably about 3 inches below. They probably hit me about 3 inches below my navel. So I can't understand really why these were such a disaster, because on freesewing.org you put in your own dimensions and they spout out either a pattern or you draw it straight onto the fabric. I cut this out right at the beginning of the challenge, and of course we got really busy, wasn't able to look at it, and then one evening I thought I'd very quickly sew it up. It's sewed together really, really quickly, I will give it that. The instructions are a little bit sparse. The website is really quite unusual to navigate, which I said in my plans video, and gave you a little sort of screen demonstration on how to navigate the website. And I came back to it then to check on what measurements I put in. I can't find where I've put my measurements. I spent about an hour and a half last night trying to find out where I put my measurements so I could learn where I'd gone wrong, and then make adjustments for future, because other than the fact that I can't fasten them up properly, I can't get them up to my waist, which is where I would want to wear them, which is, I'm sure, is the details that I put in. I just can't find out where I've put that information. So it's going to be quite a quick fix to unpick, it would be about half an hour's job to unpick that waistband and add a wider waistband effectively into it, which I've got enough fabric only just because this is all I've got left out of 2 meters, just to see if I can get them to work and fit for me, which is a real shame really, because that's 2 meters of fabric that I will be able to repurpose. They are just effectively 2 squares with a crotch cut out with ties attached to the waistband. So the vast majority of the fabric I will be able to salvage if this putting a wider waistband on doesn't work, or if it looks a bit odd. But it's a shame because I love this fabric and I've saved it for sort of holidays. I'm not going to be wearing wrap pants round Yorkshire, especially in March, but I've saved them for my holidays and I'm a bit gutted that it didn't work. So for that reason, I'm not going to actually recommend the freesewing.org website until I've had another proper look at it and see if I can get it to be a little bit more intuitive to use. I wanted to put together a bit of a tutorial on how to use it, but it's just not intuitive at all. It's been designed for sort of web designers, it's been designed for designers, pattern designers, and it's been designed for people who sew, and I think the people who sew would find it difficult to navigate. So a bit of a disaster, but never mind. You live and learn, and I will be able to salvage that fabric, so it's not the end of the world. It'd be interesting to see if anybody else has used it and had success with it with a more fitted garment. I mean, this isn't even a fitted garment, so if that doesn't work, then I don't understand what I've done wrong. You live and learn. So my final make is another one that you've probably seen a lot of and a bit boring because it's in black, but I'm going to put it on Mandy so you can have a better look at it. So that is the Harper cardigan in a very boring black. This is French Terry, I think, from Robert Kaufman. The reason I used Sinclair patterns is because I do believe that they're one of the most inclusive pattern companies on the market, where you don't have to put your own measurements in. They draft for 4 different heights, 3 different heights, I think it is. So you've got petite, you've got regular, you've got tall. I think they draft up to 5'9" on the tall range, or is it 5'10"? It might be 5'10". So naturally, I go for the tall because that is one of the things that people say it's easy to redraft for tall people. It isn't. If you've got several pattern pieces going through the bodice, and you've got to remember to do the facings and the length, the arms. I always forget either the arms or the legs or something, or not lengthening it in my bodice, even though it's something that I do regular. It's not an easy thing to change. The size range goes from extra small to 4 extra large, which is a 31.5 inch bust up to 60 inches, maximum 63 inch hip. Obviously with a cardigan it doesn't matter too much on the hips, and it's not a fasten up cardigan neither. But all the other patterns, as I understand, are the same. So I looked at the Valley skater dress, which wasn't my style. I didn't have the fabric for, but I did have the need of a black cardigan, so I've made one. So this is a classic length. I think there are 4 lengths on it. You've got the cropped, the classic, the long line, and the duster. And the duster's got like a split hem in it. And then you can do 3 sleeve lengths on it as well. So you can do, I think it's sort of elbow length, short length, and then full length. So I've just gone for a very boring black cardigan, full length sleeves, and you know, just to cover my bum and my back, cover my kidneys up, as you say, just to keep you warm. I've got a lot of trousers and skirts that are black, and I don't have much to wear with them. The other 2 that I've made are in a blue, and I don't like to wear blue with black. I don't know, I'm a bit funny. So I will get a lot of use out of this, I think. And like I say, it's lovely French terre, Robert Kaufman, so good quality. The only thing I'd say is I've top stitched down this band, and I have pressed it. And I think had I used a walking foot, it wouldn't look quite so rumpled. I don't think that's going to be, you're going to be able to tell that when you wear it. There is an option to put patch pockets on these. I always omit them. I don't think they always look right, and I don't think I had enough fabric as well. I think I used what fabric I had on this one. So I went for the longest I could in the fabric that I had, which I think was 1.5 metres. So yeah, I did have plans to make a black cardigan in my 2022 plans, which I didn't share because they did change a little bit. And now I've got one. So really pleased with that. I was actually sewing this on the reveal date. I cut it out at the beginning of the challenge, and I started sewing it at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the reveal date. Would have gone together a lot more quickly if I hadn't cut out the wrong size band for the cardigan. I cut out my long length band instead of this classic length, so to cut it down and faff about. So I think it took me about 3 hours, this one. So that's it from me. I do hope you enjoyed the challenge. I'm sure once Rowan and I have had a bit of a rest and a lie down and got over the shock of so many contestants, we will be running it again next year, but watch this space. We might have some other mad ideas before then. Got a little review of the Erin dungarees by Tilly and the Buttons coming up. I'm hoping to get that recorded today, but I'm not sure when it'll be up. If this is the sort of content that you like, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell. That will tell you when I've got new videos. Now I'm back into my regular filming. You might get 1 or 2 a week, but no set days at the moment, just doing it when I can. So thank you so much for watching. I'll speak to you later. Bye.